right there.
Oh, there. That's already there.
You liar! You know what I'm gonna do about this?
What?
What I'm gonna do is piss and moan like an impotent jerk and then bend over and take it up the tailpipe!
You've been here before, haven't you?
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to charge $150 more for Switch 2 than Switch 1?
Money! You can't keep getting away with this!
That's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
It's coming. Soon it will descend upon us, crashing into the earth.
It's really happening. The apocalypse. The world is finally ending.
What?
No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
Coming off of the Wii U generation, Nintendo needed to earn back the good graces of not only third-party developers and industry partners, but also fans. In their 2017 January presentation, the very first piece of new information we get on the original Switch console was not only the release date, but also the price. It was $299.99, $300, basically just as much as the Wii U was when it launched. It was fair, very fair price. You know, it's a handheld home console hybrid. It's going to be probably just as powerful, if not even maybe a little bit more than the Wii U, which was surprising for such a small device. Last Wednesday, we just had this Nintendo Switch 2 presentation, and whew! Maybe the best Nintendo Switch Direct we have ever had. It is among the best, and even on par with their March 8th, 2018 Direct, which, if you don't know, that's the iconic one, for sure. Definitely one of my favorites, but this one, I would say this Direct outclassed it. It was so many fucking games, and they're all, I mean, obviously I'm biased because I care about a lot of these games. I just think there was something there for everyone, and it was perfect, just down to the last minute detail. Perfect. Except for one thing. And it was kind of the lack of that thing. And it was the price.
Switch 2. We appreciate you joining us today.
Price.
Thank you very much.
Price. 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 They didn't come out of the gate with the price or the release date. They just stopped in the middle of the presentation randomly to give out the release date, but no price. Immediately, you know, once the Direct was all over, I was a bit worried, because they have all these fun games, all these amazing games that they're showcasing, and no price. They didn't want to distract from the spectacle of it all, because the price would have been that jarring, you know? Like, it would be that high that it would distract from everything else going on in the presentation. Maybe I was just cynical, you know, is what I was hoping. But even then, there were a few moments in the Direct where I'm like, huh. First, I mean, we'll start with the Switch 2 edition games. So basically, they have these games, they're Switch 1 games, and they get the the 4K upscale. Ideally, they perform better. A lot of them, they have this like forced DLC put into it almost. It's like essentially a DLC pack. Now, if you don't know, Switch games, they don't really go on sale often. If they do, it's usually on the eShop. It's not physical copies, usually, unless if it's like a specific store that's doing a sale. So you have these like almost decade-old games, some of these, like, you know, Breath of the Wild, that they're still charging $60 for. And then, with all this, like, nonsense put into it, like, in the case of, Kirby and Mario Party, it's actual, like, expansions. It's very similar to, like, 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. They kind of just took the format of that, where you take a port of a game, or a remaster of a game, and then you just tack on, like, an additional content to it to give it more value. That's okay, that's fine. But if I want to play these games in 4K, have better performance, you know, frame rate wise, I have to pay for these upgrades. Now they're doing it for Zelda, the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom duology. They're doing both separate. You can get the upgrade packs for them. In the case of these two specifically, and only these two, if you have NSO, they'll just give it to you for free. And I like that, I guess. But most of the extra stuff they put in, you know, except for the 4K upscale and the 60 FPS, it's just kind of useless bullshit. I mean, some of it's cool, like there is some like story, like you'll get some like voice dialogues from some of the characters, some more of it, and like that's cool. But I just want to play these games in 4K, which I can do on a PC for free. It just seems kind of odd to charge to almost like force this extra DLC in so that you add more value, so that you force customers to have to pay more. Because it's still a $60 game. It's a decade old. Still $60. And then with an additional $10 tacked onto it. So Breath of the Wild is going to retail at $70. And then we got Tears of the Kingdom here that was... You know, this was the first, I think the only game on Switch 1 that was $70. They had said, listen, you know, the industry is starting to move towards $70. We're not going to charge $70 for every single game, but in this particular instance, with how big this game is, we're going to ask for $70. And at the time, I was super hesitant. I didn't want to pay that. But I really liked Breath of the Wild, and I wanted to play more Zelda. So I decided, fine, whatever, I'll pay for it. And in hindsight, you know, before all this bullshit with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, I was kind of okay with it. They had come out and said, oh, we're not going to do DLC for this game, even though fans were, like, clamoring for it. And the reason being, though, is that they felt like they had done everything that they could have done with this iteration of Hyrule. I'd say I'd agree. I mean, there's definitely, you know, there's always going to be room for improvement, but I look at Tears of the Kingdom and I'm like, I am satisfied with that game. I do not need more content. In hindsight, you know, and maybe this is a part of their whole strategy, but in hindsight, I basically just paid for the game itself, just a little bit more for the game itself to have the full experience than if I had paid $60 at launch with like a $20 or $30 DLC pack tacked on top. I was kind of okay with it, but I guess you give them an inch and then they take a mile. So now they're charging $80 for Tears of the Kingdom. They have a Switch 1, Switch 2 versions of Metroid Prime 4. And that's kind of the major Nintendo game I'm looking forward to right now. I am worried that Switch 1 is going to cost $70 and that Switch 2 is going to cost $80. Now it might not. They might do $16, $70 instead, but I can't justify $80 for a video game. I can't. I can't. And there's just a little bit weird. Like, there's this new C button, right? It's a chat button. You're able to press it, and then you can do some cool chat stuff with your friends. But in order to do that, you know, obviously you need to have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription. So people have pointed out that this is the only console with a button on the controller that has a paywall behind using it. I was thinking about that, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sit right with me. That's a little icky. At the same time, it's cool to have its own button, and, you know, it's a feature that, you know, I mean, I'm already paying for NSO. It's not like it's a big deal to me, but yeah, to your average consumer who's not paying NSO, it is like, huh, that's kind of lame. And then, just another thing, the tutorial game for EPD4 They do the Wii Sports series. They did Nintendo Land for the Wii U, 1-2 Switch for Switch 1. They do the kind of experimental tech demo-y stuff, you know, for their Nintendo consoles. Usually, I mean, for these games, these are very substantial, maybe not substantial, but they're definitely, like, games. Like, they could, you know, most of these, Wii Sports was a pack-in title. That was a pack-in title. But the rest of them you did have to pay for, but it's like, they are games, and they have, like, that Nintendo charm to them. This is the most run-of-the-mill, just, like, boring, like, you know, corporate, you know, like, oh, hey, this is what the console does. And you look over at, like, PlayStation and Sony, and you get Astro's Playroom, which has infinitely, like, more charm, more thought put into it, and you get that for free. And here they're charging for it. Now, it's a small amount. I think it's, like, $6.50, or it's, like, $7. So it's not, like, that much. But still weird, because I wouldn't even play this game if it were for free. Why would I pay Nintendo for it? Like, why the fuck would I do that? But all this stuff combined. All of it. Whatever. Fine. We're now going to get into the information we found out after the Direct, because we couldn't find the price out from Nintendo. I mean, they made damn sure we knew about the release date, and they had the balls to talk about their 120 FPS screen. They went full on, like, technical jargon on us, but they didn't talk to us about the price. So we had to find out by CNET before we even found out by Nintendo. It's $449.99. Now, myself and many others were expecting the sweet spot, at least for this console, to be $399.99. $400. It's easy. It's $100 less than the competition, $100 more than the original Switch. Adjusted for inflation, it's just over what the original Switch would have costed today, in today's standards. Obviously, with all the technology that's packed into this console that they showcased in the Direct, I think for $450, it's not that bad. It's just $50 more than what I was expecting, and for some that will make the difference. Like, some people are just not going to be able to get it, or won't want to, because of that $50 increase in price from what we were expecting. And that's fine. It's like, oh well. You know, that's okay. It's a one-time purchase, right? Mario Kart World. It's retailing for $80. Now, some people are saying, oh, the physical is going to be $90. That's in Europe. Over here in the States, there's no confirmation of that. It's just $80. Either way, $70 was too much. Okay, I was hesitant with Tears of the Kingdom because of the $70 price tag. $70 is way too much. No game should exceed $60 base game. $80 fucking dollars. Now, a lot of people are going to point to the orange man, the funny orange man, and say that this is his doing. And maybe. You know, I'm not a political guy. I used to be. I'm not anymore. I don't care. You know, I've been trying to ignore politics, but it's very clear that politics is now no longer ignoring me. And the rest of us, for that matter. In any case, I guess the idea from the right side is that, you know, things have to get worse before they can get better. They think that our country is being wronged, and so the only way to right those wrongs is to, I guess, fight back with these tariffs. Obviously, the left has their opinion on it, and then we're all stuck in the middle, and we're just getting fucked. So we got Nintendo over here, we got the bigwig Nintendo over here, and they just got their dick out. They just plop it out onto the table. They're just waving it around, and then they rip our mouth open, and they just shove it in. Just like that. You know, there. Okay? Alright? So they're fucking us from the front. Okay? Then we have this funny orange man. Okay? We have him behind us. And, you know, he's tearing our pants down. Okay? And he's ripping our ass cheeks open. And he's just going at it. He's like... Okay. So... And we're getting fucked. I cannot, in good faith, get Mario Kart at launch, or at all for that matter. And they have a $500 SKU for the console, and you get the game with it. Okay, so that's $50, $10 less than what was industry standard before, which was totally fine. Now that's suddenly supposed to be like a good deal. And keep in mind, if you're like me and you're still physical all the way, because maybe you don't like where the industry is headed, you don't like the fact that you can purchase these games and then these companies can just take it away whenever they want. Or you'd rather have a physical, tangible thing so that when your hardware dies, you're not screwed, you're not fucked. No. Now it's very clear. I mean, we thought that Nintendo were going to ride the physical media train to the bitter end. That we thought that they would be the number one supporters of physical media. Meanwhile, Xbox is over here trying to move us to digital. PlayStation, same thing. Turns out Nintendo's are the ones spearheading the plummet to an all-digital future. It seems like. And it's just very surprising. This is a very different Nintendo from not only the Wii U days, but also the Switch 1 days. I just think back to like the time, when Satoru Iwata, back when he was alive, God rest his soul, I think he took out of his own earnings to pay for his employees when the Wii U failed because of not only, his actions, but the entire corporations, And instead of firing half the company, he took out of his own earnings. And I don't know, I just don't think he would enjoy what he's seeing today, really. So I will not be picking up Mario Kart for $80. I will not be getting the 500 SKU for the console, because even though that's $30 less than what I would be paying, I'm not going to be playing Mario Kart World and enjoying it, knowing that there is a version of the game that I would probably much rather have. I would rather have a physical copy of the game. I'm not going to be playing that game enjoying the fact that there's another version of this game out there that is $80, and that this is the standard that Nintendo is pushing now. Because this isn't just for Nintendo games anymore. Okay, let's say if I want to say, okay, fuck Nintendo, I'm not gonna support them anymore. I go over, I go to PC. I play all my games on PC. I go third party all the way. Nintendo just opened up Pandora's box. Other companies are now looking over. They're like, damn, Nintendo, you sly dogs. We can now charge $80. Fuck, we could go $90. We can go $100. And these idiots, these gamer fools, are gonna pay for it. Huh? Nintendo. God. Nintendo, you sly dogs. And again, it just all comes back to the same thing. The gamer, the average consumer, we are getting fucked. I guess there's a silver lining in all of this. Deltarune might not be everyone's cup of tea. It's an acquired taste for some people. And I know, the fan base can make it all kind of seem like cringe and everything. If we go on to Fangamer, alright, Deltarune will cost $24.99. So $25. For the first Deltarune, he made, that chapter completely free. It was kind of like a demo, is the idea, right? You play one chapter to see how you'll like it, then you can try the other chapters. And he was going to initially charge for Chapter 2. Chapter 2 released around COVID, pretty much smack dab in the middle, and he decided, you know what? I'm not going to charge for this game. And, that was surprising. And his reasoning was all, oh, well, these are some trying times. I don't feel right charging for this game. I'm like, you gotta eat, man. Like, I almost feel bad, like, playing this game without paying him something, because Chapter 2 was really good. Chapter 2 was a very good, and Chapter 1 too. They were both really good, I guess, pieces of a game. They didn't charge for it. He didn't have to do that, and now he's releasing 2 more chapters, and together, for everything, it's going to be $25. So you get 2 free chapters, then 2 chapters for this $25 price tag, and then he even says that's not factored into the cost though. I only feel right charging for what there currently is, not what I say there will be. Therefore, this 25 to me represents the exact price of 4 chapters. But it's my hope that if we complete more chapters, you'll feel like this game is a super, super, super good deal. Just wait, I'll prove it to you. You know, obviously, like, that's kind of vague, and I don't know if he's referring to chapters 1 through 4, or these 2 chapters plus the next 2, I don't know. Also, this game is a much smaller game than Mario Kart World, obviously. But I think on June 5th, irregardless of if I get the Switch 2 console, because my issue isn't with the console's price, it's with the game's price, right? But at the same time, if we support Nintendo in any way, shape, or form, you see the dilemma. But either way, on June 5th, I think I'm going to be spending my money on Toby Fox instead, because unlike Mario Kart World, I can actually afford his game. I can't afford Nintendo's game, and I will not afford Nintendo's game for that matter. And Donkey Kong Bonanza, that comes out like a month later. That's $70. It's basically a Mario Odyssey 2, or a Donkey Kong 3D Donkey Kong in the style of a Mario Odyssey. I don't think I'm be paying $70 for that either. I really liked Mario Odyssey, but to me it's just not worth over $60 for that game. So I don't think I'll be getting that game either. It's really scary because you see what's next, and it's like, oh well, in 2025, if it doesn't get delayed, Metroid Prime 4, is that going to be $80? Is the Switch 2 version going to be $80? Or will it be $60 on Switch 1, $70 on Switch 2? That, maybe, I can justify that, maybe. Or is it going to be $70 for Switch 1, $80 for Switch 2? Because I can't justify that. Not on Switch 2. Maybe on Switch 1 I could get the $70 one, if that's where they're going. Maybe. Or maybe I could just play Metroid Prime Trilogy on my Wii U that was like $20. Maybe I could just play that instead. Or I could just go online and, like, look at other games. I don't even know if I want to get a Switch 2. I really do. I've been waiting for this console for a long time. I really want it, but I just don't like this boat that Nintendo is designing. I don't want to put myself in it, when the standard for a AAA game that they're trying to push is $80. Again, this doesn't just affect Nintendo. This fucks with everyone else. The entire gaming industry. We're fucked. So yeah, that was my rant. I'll probably be getting a Switch 2. I do like the console for how it looks. But I'm not paying $80 for Mario Kart. I'm not playing Mario Kart in any way, shape, or form on that. Unless if it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I guess. Not going to be paying for Donkey Kong Bonanza. And then I'll see about Metroid Prime 4. We'll see how much Nintendo wants to fuck around with that game. Yeah, this is kind of depressing, bro. I was really looking forward to this. Oh well.
Excellent.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all?
So I leave you with something genuine from the bottom of my heart.
Fuck you!